Right now, you are hurting quietly, not because you lost just anyone, but because you gave your heart sincerely, you cared deeply, you stayed loyal, you tried to understand them, you gave chances. Again and again, and still, they walked away, they ignored your value, they treated your love like it was ordinary, and now, you keep wondering, why wasn't I enough? Why did they leave so easily? Did they ever truly care? Those thoughts replay in your mind, especially at night, especially in the quiet moments, and slowly, pain turns into self-doubt, you begin questioning your worth, but listen carefully, Jesus is saying, my child. Their inability to value you does not reduce your value. Just because someone failed to appreciate your heart, does not mean your heart was not precious. Just because someone walked away, does not mean you were unworthy of love. Jesus says, my child. Some people realize value only after they lose it. Right now, you are focused on what you lost, but one day, they will realize what they lost. They will remember the way you cared, the way you stayed, the peace you brought into their life, and they will understand, not everyone loves the way you loved, not everyone is genuine the way you were. Jesus is saying, my child. You were a blessing in their life, even if they failed to recognize it. But do not wait for their regret, do not pause your life hoping they return, do not make their realization your healing, because your value does not depend on someone coming back, your worth does not depend on someone finally appreciating you. Jesus says, my child. Your healing begins when you stop needing validation from those who hurt you. And one day, you will no longer cry over this loss, you will no longer question yourself, you will look back and realize something powerful. You did not lose the right person would have stayed, the right person would have valued your heart, the right person would not have made you feel unimportant. Jesus is saying, my child. Let them go, what is meant for you will recognize your worth immediately. So stop blaming yourself, stop replaying every mistake, stop believing you were not enough, because you were genuine, you were loyal, you were real, and one day, someone will thank God they found a heart like yours. If you're ready to stop doubting your worth and move forward in peace, type Amen and trust what God has planned for you. Now, even though you are trying to move forward, something begins to change, not just inside you, but around them too. Jesus is saying, my child. When someone loses a real connection, the absence becomes impossible to ignore. At first, they may act unaffected, distracted, even distant, but over time, reality begins to settle in, because peace like yours is rare, and genuine love cannot be replaced easily. Jesus says, my child. People often understand value after they no longer have access to it. One sign is this: they begin watching you from a distance, checking your updates, wondering how you are doing, paying attention quietly, because your absence feels different now. Another sign, they start remembering the small things, your kindness, your patience, the way you truly cared for them. Things they once overlooked now stand out clearly in their mind. Jesus is saying, my child. What is real leaves a lasting impact. Another sign, they compare others to you, and realize, not everyone brings the same peace you brought, not everyone listens the way you listened, not everyone stays the way you stayed, and slowly, regret begins to grow, because now, they understand what they lost. Jesus says, my child. Some lessons are learned only through loss. But listen carefully, their regret is not your responsibility, their realization is not your healing. Do not let their sadness pull you backward, because this season is about your growth, your peace, your future. Jesus is saying, my child. Do not return to what broke you, just because it finally recognized your value. Because sometimes people miss you, but still have not changed. People regret losing you, but still cannot love you correctly, and you must recognize the difference. At this stage, your focus should not be on whether they regret it, your focus should be on becoming whole again, stronger again, at peace again. Jesus says, my child. Your future is more important than someone else's regret. If you're choosing peace over looking back, type Amen and keep moving forward. Now. Time has passed, the emotions are quieter, the distance is real, and slowly, they begin to understand something deeply. Jesus is saying, my child. Losing someone genuine changes people in ways they never expected. Because your love was not ordinary, your loyalty was not common, your presence brought peace, comfort, stability, and they did not fully realize it while they had it, but now, they feel the difference. They notice the silence where your care once existed, they notice the absence of your support, they notice how empty things feel without you. Jesus says, my child. Some people only understand blessings after they are gone. And because of losing you, they begin to reflect on their actions, on their choices, on the way they treated someone who truly cared. For the first time, they see their mistakes clearly, not because you forced them to, but because truth eventually reveals itself. Jesus is saying, my child. Your absence became their lesson. And that lesson will stay with them, long after the relationship ended, long after the conversation stopped, because real love leaves a mark, it changes people, it teaches them, it becomes something they compare everything else to. Jesus says, my child. What came from your heart will never be forgotten. But remember this. Their growth does not mean you must return, their regret does not erase your pain, and their realization does not mean the connection is suddenly healthy. Sometimes, people change after losing you, but that change was meant for their journey, not for your return. Jesus is saying, my child. Not every lesson is meant to become a reunion. Because your path now is forward, toward healing, toward peace, toward the life and love that truly align with you, and one day, you will no longer wonder why things ended. You will understand that losing you was part of their lesson, but protecting your peace was part of yours. If you are choosing growth and peace over the past, type Amen and continue moving forward. Now, something beautiful begins to happen, not immediately, but slowly, quietly. Your life begins to change. At first, you may not even notice it, because healing happens in small moments, in peaceful mornings, in nights where you finally stop crying, in the moments where their name no longer controls your emotions. Jesus is saying, my child. Letting go made room for your growth. Because while you were holding on, so much of your energy was trapped in pain, in overthinking, in hoping things would change, but now, that energy is returning to you, and you begin using it differently. You focus on yourself again, your goals, your peace, your future. Jesus says, my child. When you stop chasing what hurts you, you finally have space to heal. And with healing comes clarity. You start seeing things differently. You stop blaming yourself for everything. You stop questioning your worth. You stop romanticizing what was unhealthy, and instead, you begin appreciating your own value. Jesus is saying, my child. Your heart was never the problem. At this stage, your confidence slowly returns, not loud confidence, but peaceful confidence, the kind that says, I deserve real love. I deserve consistency. I deserve peace. And because of that, you stop settling, you stop accepting less, you stop begging for effort. Jesus says, my child. Healing changes your standards. And now, your life feels lighter, more aligned, more peaceful than before, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer carrying what was hurting you, and that freedom changes everything. If you feel yourself becoming stronger after letting go, type Amen and continue your healing journey. Now, your heart is different, not closed, but wiser, not cold, but more careful with who you allow close, and because you healed, because you let go, because you chose peace over pain, something new begins to enter your life. Jesus is saying, my child. The right love comes when you are no longer begging for it. At first, it may feel unfamiliar, because this connection is different. There are no games, no confusion, no constant fear of losing them. Instead, there is calmness, consistency, effort from both sides. Jesus says, my child. Real love brings peace, not emotional exhaustion. You may begin to notice, they communicate clearly, they show up consistently. They make you feel valued naturally, and slowly, your heart starts trusting again, not because you forgot the past, but because this feels safe, healthy, real. Jesus is saying, my child. I removed what hurt you, to guide you toward what heals you. And now, you finally understand something important. The love you were chasing before was never meant to complete you, it was meant to teach you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for something better. Jesus says, my child. What is truly meant for you will not require you to lose yourself. Because the right person will not make you beg for attention, will not disappear when things get hard, will not make you question your worth. Instead, they will protect your heart, respect your presence, and choose you fully. And when this love arrives, you will no longer feel the need to chase, because what is real will meet you halfway. If you believe real and peaceful love is coming into your life, type Amen and stay open to what God is preparing for you.